Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob from Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today I have a very special review. It's not the We Banter I'm reviewing, but it's something that the We Banter has on it. I did an unboxing and I've been carrying this knife around and I have enjoyed the heck out of it. This is a scale by Unlocked Composites. This is a scale for the We Banter, and if you've ever had a We Banter, it's a really cool little knife. I've always found it a little difficult to carry because the edges were kind of sharp. I mean, they were chamfered a little bit, but it wasn't very contoured and it wasn't very comfortable to use. And then the relief to get to the liner lock was difficult to get to, and if you've got big stubby fingers like me, you know, it's hard to get in there sometimes to get to that lock. But these scales are phenomenal. First of all, in the sunlight, these just shimmer beautifully. The lights here don't do it justice, but they really make it look fantastic. But let me go ahead and pop that open for you. So what I'm talking about here is this relief to the liner lock is really, you can get to it. You can get to it very easily and it drops shut. So it's very nice to get to and it doesn't hurt your finger. What I found is I had a carbon fiber version of this with the We carbon fiber marbled one. I sold it. I got rid of it. And then when I found out about these Unlocked Composites, I was like, oh, I gotta get this again. So I got this one that was just a G10, and then I replaced it with these once they were able to make them again. He had to get some new equipment and had to get it all set up. And once he did, he started making these, and they're available now. I'll have a link in the description to Unlocked Composites because they do these scales for like the Baby Banter. I've got another review for the Baby Banter coming. But they also do them for a bunch of Civivi knives, some Kaiser knives, even some Benchmades. So go check them out. Really, really, really fantastic. Okay, so what I really like the most here is you'll see that there's texture. And I don't know if we can get in on that, but you can we see the texture? Maybe we can get a little closer here. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. You can see the texture. It's kind of dimpling, like dimpling on there, but it's enough to give you good traction, okay? And then it's contoured. It's contoured around the edges here so that when you grip this and you've got a good solid grip, you're not digging in. And you know, this is a carbon fiber, so it's really nice and strong. It's a good sturdy handle, and it makes it even, I believe, lighter than what the G10 was. And I'm going to wait here. You know what? Matter of fact, let's just wait right now. Let's see what it weighs. Because I do remember that the other, the Banter before was 2.82 ounces. Let's see if this is any different. Oh, look at that, 2.59 ounces. So we have lost about 0.23 ounces, 0.23 ounces, almost a quarter of an ounce of weight was lost with these carbon fiber scales. So now we're at just went brain dead for a second there. I got, what was it again? 2.57 ounces, 2.5 inches. And so if we look at the blade here, this is just about 2 3/4. So, I mean, we can actually measure that. Sorry, making a little noise there, but we can see what the measurement here is. And we are right at, yeah, 2 3/4. So we are better than ratios with this now. It's just fantastic. And it feels really great. Let's see here. Where's the center, is it? Yeah, it's about right there. So it makes it feel very, very balanced in your hand. You know, I mean, it's light enough as it is that I don't think it really matters, but it is nice that you don't feel like it's heavy on the top or the bottom. You know, that makes it really comfortable. And of course, this is CPMS 35 VN steel, so it's a really nice steel, and it hones and sharpens up really nicely. You can see that I've got a nice, almost looks like a polished edge. That's just from honing on a leather strop. So really, really like that. It's got the anodized blue studs there. That's black in the back, you know, to match that black G10. But I like how they do the blue. I know that's Ben Peterson's, I think, favorite color or whatever. But just really beautiful action. I mean, the centering after putting them in was just dead center. Yeah, just dead on. I don't know if you can see that. Beautiful, beautiful action. There's no blade rock in there. It's in there nice and solid. There's no detent lash or whatever you call it. You know, I guess it's called detent lash, but when it detent is moving in and out of the detent hole. So it's really nice as well. And just really great and comfortable. I wanted to review this because I thought it was worthwhile to talk about. You know, I did a whole review on some designs that can really make knives so much better, but I thought I really wanted to talk about, you know, just this scale itself. This became a completely new knife for me. I liked the knife. I liked Ben Peterson's knife before, and it was okay. I wanted to really like it. It was like a great small, very compact size to carry. Definitely could get full 4 fingers on there, and so I really enjoyed that part about it, and I really wanted to appreciate that, but it was uncomfortable. It would dig in with the kind of sharper edges, and I couldn't flick the knife. I like to flick my knives. I fidget with my knives. Knives are fidgety things for me, and my wife and my sons can all tell you that, and they don't always appreciate it. Many times they don't appreciate it at all, and wish that I had a silent knife that flicked and didn't make any noise. But I appreciate knives that I can fidget with and I can use. Like this one, I can use the thumb studs, the front, and then I can use the back, obviously. But then because there's enough blade sticking out right here, I can also use my middle finger and get a middle finger reverse flick. So I have multiple deployments on this knife as well. And because it's a liner lock, I can do it on the left-hand side too without any issues whatsoever. Very easy to reverse forward and reverse flick as well. So that makes it really nice. And once you get past that detent, it drop shuts beautifully, really does. So even this PVD coating on here, I think it's PVD, I don't think it's Cerakote. Yeah, I think it's PVD, because that doesn't look like Cerakote to me. Anyways, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's PVD. It's the detent track in there is worn in well, so that there's no friction there, and it is buttery smooth, really is. So that makes the knife fantastic. And I don't know. You can see the deep pocket carry clip fit in there really, really well. No issues. It's a beautiful, perfect fit. All the screws are perfect fit. A pivot went in there perfectly, and this is a captive pivot, and they had that done perfectly. The inner metal, the steel liners, if you can see that, the steel liners, they all fit in there really, really perfectly as well. The lockup is still great. I think it's around 30-40%. Yeah, about 30-40%. Nothing changed. The specs and the milling and the craftsmanship on this, boy, I can't talk, is phenomenal. I mean, this guy is he's an artist. He's a beautiful artist when it comes to scales. And to me, wow, I mean, this really made a nice knife great. Really did. And you can really appreciate that. I think that's why you have Flytanium and Rips Technology, RTG, Rips Technology Garage, right? You have all these different folks. I think there's a guy on Instagram, he does the most amazing Spyderco Para 3 or Para 2 scales. It's RG Custom Works, I think his name. If you haven't checked him out, I think that's his name. He does some fantastic craftsmanship. I want to get a pair of his scales. They're expensive, but man, they're nice. I know Nick Chapaz has them on his Para 3 or Para 2. Just simply gorgeous. It's kind of like the TRM Atom. If you've had a TRM Atom, it's a beautiful knife. I have one. And I had the titanium scales. I actually had two, and it was one of the last times I ever bought two of the same knife, because I just don't do that anymore. I had a TRM Atom that was with the titanium milled scales and one with the red fat carbon. And I liked the red fat carbon better, and I felt like the action was better. It was a little lighter, and I enjoyed it. So I sold the titanium scaled ones. Now, yeah, I wish I had the titanium scaled ones now. But, back then I felt like, I had everything was titanium, and I wanted more fat carbon. Maybe I'll buy the titanium scales and swap them out once in a while, because that's the joy of a TRM, right? You can swap the scales out. Also these guys, and they have more than this carbon fiber scale. They have one that has some different contouring on there. Now I have the Baby Banter here, and you can see this. This has the kind of angled jimping on here, or I'm sorry, milling in here, and it's enough that you get traction. And I'll talk about this in another review, but it doesn't rip into your pants. And so they have that for this as well. I think he did some concentric kind of thing. I forget what he called that one, but it's really cool. He didn't have any pictures up of it, but I can only imagine how gorgeous that's going to be. And then he had some smooth ones. So if you don't want any of that and you want it smooth, he did that as well. So if you don't want any stimpling or any sort of milling at all, you can get that. And you can have it just pretty plain Jane, right? But this is fantastic. This is just simply fantastic. And for the price, to me, it's worth every penny. It's worth every penny. Now, this made a knife that was, I forget what I paid for this, 120, 130 bucks. I don't know what they're running now. I know they're a little more, everything's more expensive, but it made this almost, gets this knife close to, you know, almost a $200 knife, because I think these scales were like 65, 67, or I think something like that with shipping or tax or whatever. I don't know if there was tax or shipping on there, but makes this knife close to $200. But to me, it now becomes worth that. It really does. It becomes worth that because of that. And just the execution of everything just really makes it wonderful. And that to me is where, if you execute something well, you add value to a knife, significant value to a knife. And to me, this is execution done really, really well. So that's my thoughts on this. If you haven't checked them out, they're called the Unlocked Composite scales. Do check them out. Really fantastic. I'll have links for them in the description. Really, really fantastic. The biggest to me is this relief that you get right here to the liner lock. Makes the liner lock so easy. You can just put your thumb there, boom, it drops, and then for me it drops right into that little choil part there, so I don't cut my finger. Just really nice, just really nice, really, really nice. Makes this knife just fantastic. Really like it. I'd love to hear your comments below. You have any questions for me, or if you have any comments, or maybe what are your experiences? Maybe you have them on some of your other knives. I've heard some other people talk about, I think there's a couple of Civivi knives that other folks have spoken about, and they say they love it. It's fantastic. I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you get these, tell me what you thought after you get them. Was your experience as positive as mine? I hope so, because I've had two really positive experiences, and I hope when there's rumor, or at least he said he's working on the Big Banter, and I have a Big Banter also, and I will definitely get the scales for the Big Banter once they come out, if he has them. So I don't know how long it's going to take. I know he's one guy doing all the work, so it took a while to get these out. You put the order in, and I emailed him. I said, hey, do you know when they're coming out? And he's like, yeah. That order was just to get it in, and then he has to process them all. And so it's one guy milling all these. So. And he's popular, so you're not going to get these done in an hour and shipped out the same day. I mean, he's working on them. It's kind of like you go to Whataburger, or you go to a nice hamburger joint that makes their hamburgers fresh. This is fresh off the mill, if you will, but perfect, really, really perfect. Great job. So, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, your experiences. Please comment down below if you get a chance. I would love to hear that. Hey, if you like this video, would you consider hitting the like button? And if you've already hit the like button, would you consider subscribing? I sure would appreciate it. It helps me to know that you like this content. It helps me to keep on producing more content. And if you've subscribed, maybe consider hitting the notification button so that you can be notified of upcoming content. That would be cool. And if you like this, check me out over on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. That's robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.